So right out the gate, I would like to just mention that James is going to be tired for this podcast because since the Star Wars trailer has dropped, he has just been watching that straight.
I thought you were going to ask me how many times I watched the trailer, and I honestly can't give you a number.
I know.
It's bad.
It's just cosmic. It's infinite.
Yeah.
Like the stars.
Oh, that's very good. It's vast.
And unfortunately, like wars, too.
Oh, well.
Which is a pretty grim note, so it's a good thing that tonight we're going to be reviewing 2 comedy trailers.
Yes. I mean, one of them is
Wes Anderson
style comedy, which some people don't laugh at.
It's not ha-ha funny.
Yeah, some people might go, what is this?
Exactly.
Do I watch it?
Well, hopefully people will laugh at The Disaster Artist, which is another trailer that we're going to be reviewing. It's been a hot minute since we've had kind of a lighter night. Normally it's pretty bleak here. So let's get ready to just have fun.
Let's dive in, man.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves a whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Is the number less than 100?
It has to be. It has. Cause what? It's only been 3 days?
Yeah, it's only been 3 days.
Yeah.
But you look like you haven't slept a wink.
So after we recorded the reaction podcast on Monday,
yeah,
I fell into a deep rabbit hole of
of
watching reaction videos of people's watching the trailer on YouTube. So if you count those, like, it's got to be close to 100 times.
Sure.
Because I watched a lot of reaction videos.
Any particular ones you want to shout out?
I honestly fly through them so fast that it's like...
Was there any, like, I reacted better? Next. I reacted better. Next.
I'm not too smug about my nerd reaction videos.
Okay, good.
But also...
I would have to bring you down.
Yeah, no, there were some really great ones. And obviously, most of the reaction I'm looking for is the end button with... Kylo Ren extending his hand out to Rey.
Sure.
That got the best reactions out of people. So that was a lot of fun. I watched it a lot. Not really much new, insightful things to say about it.
Nah,
I still love it.
We did notice that BB-8 was
BB-8
in the trailer.
is in the trailer.
Yeah. We said that BB-8 was not. That was a lie.
We were wrong.
Yeah.
Trailer repair. Yeah.
Look at us.
Crushing it.
We should probably note, hi, I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm James.
All right, this is Trailer Hitch, in which James and I go through a bunch of trailers, and we give you our honest and hard thoughts on them.
Yep.
Now, we rate trailers as either need to see more, or never need to see.
Keep it simple, stupid.
And if James and I both give something a need to see rating, he and I will see the movie. We'll talk about it then after, in a segment we call Trailer in the Rear View, in which we review the movie and then the trailer in retrospect. Does the trailer hold up? Does the movie hold up? Is the trailer better? Sometimes the answer is yes. Anyway, we're going to get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to first, before we talk about The Disaster Artist, before we talk about Isle of Dogs,
what do we have? We
gotta talk about a trailer for a movie that we've already reviewed a trailer of. Although I don't think it's fair to call what we saw a trailer. It was more.
See, I'm in on the joke, but maybe we should tell the.
It was
tell
Comic-Con, right?
It was a Comic-Con teaser.
Yeah, so we saw a Comic-Con teaser for Pacific Rim 2. In which back in the day, which is that episode a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I dubbed it as the worst trailer or teaser we have watched since we started Trailer Hitch.
Since we started the podcast. And I agreed with you,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, and like, bear in mind, like, we try and remember that there are people on the other end of this equation. There are people who are making this movie. There are people who are making these trailers. And it just totally reeked of we had to rush something out for Comic-Con.
Totally.
Like, just like either that editor or some poor marketing person was like, the fuck do you mean? Comic-Con's in a week! And they just had to throw something together. And our call was exclusively for God's sake, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Just, if you don't have anything, don't show
It's
anything.
fine. Show some concept art. People will still clap and woo, and you just move on, and they'll just
Pretty
be
much.
excited for the trailer
Yeah.
when you do decide to show
Just
it.
every once in a while, throw in a Guillermo like that. Just Guillermo del Toro really like that. People will be like, ah! And that's all you need.
He did the first one. Ah.
And so we did actually get an actual trailer. That
Got an
dropped.
actual
And
trailer, and we'll be...
Because we kicked the piss out of that teaser so much, we felt that it was only right to review a proper trailer.
Yeah, yep. And so we'll be tuning up that trailer, and we'll also be tuning up the Justice League trailer. Justice League got another trailer, and that's coming in.
We'd really like to tease that because we have a lot of thoughts on the new Justice League trailer. But first,
We'll dive into it later. Yeah.
But first, let's talk about Pacific Rim 2. So we came off of probably the worst thing that James and I watched on Trailer Hitch. So the good news is it's better.
Yeah.
The bad news
give it
is
that.
it's still not very great.
Not good enough.
No.
Not better enough.
No, it's
Yeah.
not better enough.
Yeah.
Basically, it just feels like all the fun has been zapped out of it. Like, a lot of the dialogue that's present in the trailer just feels very stilted and just generic action.
Super, just like heavily,
don't-
obviously written out as just like inspirational speech type stuff that no one really talks
I don't believe
like.
the line, I've got a bad feeling about this, was said, but all the dialogue was akin to, I've got a bad feeling about
Yeah,
this.
George Lucas has a copyright on that line.
Does he really? Oh, well.
No.
I mean, you're my Star Wars guy. I take you as a source on this. So, yeah, like, the dialogue is really stilted. The action itself seems okay. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's the best part about it, but at the same time, you had pointed out to me, like, spoilers, I guess, for Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is pretty final, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, they cancel the apocalypse, and
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I liked the first Pacific Rim a lot, so.
Yeah, and from your perspective, do they happen to mention why there's more aliens?
Nah.
No,
It's
same.
like
Same.
this was the thing with the Comic-Con teaser. We were like, or I specifically was like, you won. Like, the war was over. And with a teaser or a trailer, you should really be giving a little bit of as to why it's not over yet.
Yeah.
But they didn't. It just was like, oh, we're throwing you back in this world. We're throwing you back in this war. And instead of
We're
explaining,
the good guys and they're the bad aliens.
yeah,
And,
it's
that's
like
about it.
it's like I know you saw before that like we won the war, but just kidding. It's just begun, and like, or it's just beginning, and I'm like, oh, that's such a cliche line too. And you're not even showing me like why it wasn't final before.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the monsters in the first Pacific Rim come from Earth, and
It was like interdimensional, right? There was like
but it was like it came from like a crack in the ocean.
in the
or
ocean,
something.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just a different ocean this time? It could be as simple as that, but we don't know.
Don't know.
And this
Yeah.
isn't one of those like, oh, this is a good kind of cliffhanger question to leave after a trailer. No, it's not. We had the end of the movie at the end of Pacific Rim. For God's sakes, Ron Perlman clawed his way out of a goddamn alien in the first Pacific Rim. Like, everything was pretty fine.
It was pretty cool, wasn't it?
But now it's just, they're back.
Yeah, totally.
And, yeah, we don't really have any context for what. I mean, at least with fucking Independence Day 2, it was like, well, that was just like their scout team.
Yeah.
And this
Well-
is the actual army. It's
well,
like,
and
okay, that makes
That
sense.
makes sense. And I maintain that Independence Day Resurgence was a good trailer. That was a good trailer.
I think I was like, I need to see more.
You
on
already
it.
need to see
Yeah.
more, but I thought that was a really good trailer.
That is an example of a movie where the trailer is better
Woof, that
than
movie
the-
sucked.
Yeah.
Look, I think we talked about it. If
Yeah,
you didn't,
we've gone into it.
Independence Day Resurgence sucked.
It's
okay,
not
there.
good, yeah.
It's been said out loud if it hasn't already. You all knew this
I think
already.
a lot of people have said that.
It's been out
you
long
could have
enough.
just walked outside, and at some point, within 10 minutes, you would have heard just someone being like, oh, God, I just remembered Independence Day 2.
I just screamed from my window, Resurgence sucked, and everyone just screams back, we all know. Anyway, what do you give this?
I'm still at a never need to see, but I'm at a better never need to see.
It has climbed the ranks a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still a never need to see it for
Yeah,
me.
it's
too.
not. Yeah, it's not an abomination.
It was a little. It was
but-
very uninspiring.
Yeah.
And I I don't really know. Like, I didn't even buy, like, the landscape.
No.
Like, that first movie, I bought, like, the skyscrapers and stuff around them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this one just
There's
felt...
like a really serious, like, Neo-Tokyo thing going on.
Yeah, and it felt like maybe I was watching, like, a Big Hero 6 like sequel or something where it was very animated. It's colorful still and all that, but yeah, it's a never need to see it for me.
All
so,
right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed our thoughts on this because we got a lot of thoughts on this Justice League trailer.
that's right, a new Justice League. I don't know what this is now. It's either like I think it's the fourth trailer, fourth like full-length official trailer for this movie.
Do you guys need a nap? Because I feel like we all need a nap. Yeah.
Definitely one of the shorter ones.
Yeah, it is one of the shorter ones.
One of the first ones we reviewed was like 4.5 minutes long.
All right, but let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, let's go into it.
All right, what do you think?
For this new trailer,
Yes.
it's fine.
I think it's fine too.
Cool. Need to see more.
Need to see more. All right, yeah, we're just gonna move on.
Moving on now.
All right, so we're gonna get into our first trailer. Really hope that this goes well because from afar it could be a disaster.
I see what you did there, Kevin. That's the name of the movie that we're going to be reviewing of the trailer right now.
What was that voice?
It was a new one I'm trying out. I don't know if I like it. We might edit this out. We might not. I don't know. I don't know about it.
That wasn't so bad. It was a disaster, thankfully.
You brought it back full circle.
We'll just leave it to this trailer.
So there's this guy, Johnny, a true American hero, to be played by me. He has it all. Good luck, many friends, and also maybe Johnny is vampire. We'll see.
This set of the alleyway looks exactly like the real alleyway.
That's right,
Well, why don't we just shoot in the real alleyway?
because it's a real Hollywood movie.
No? Yeah, sounds good.
Okay,
Action!
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
But it doesn't work if you're looking at the camera.
And then this beautiful girl, anything for my princess. She betrayed him. And then this guy, Johnny, he go crazy. Nobody respect my vision. You are a villain. I do this whole movie for you, Greg. You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
You're my favorite customer.
Hi, Doug. Where is your doggy?
She's in the back room.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Too late. All right. So this is the disaster artist. It is actually directed by James Franco.
Have we seen a movie that he's directed before?
He's directed a lot of movies.
I
actually.
did know that. I couldn't remember if I've actually seen one. That
I'm
he's
just
directed.
gonna do like a quick cursory glance. Do you want to talk about what the movie's about real quick?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so The Disaster Artist is a movie based off of a famous book.
Yep.
Infamous book, what have you. Or no, it's a famous book based off of the infamous movie.
There you go.
The Room. Thank you. So The Room is a movie that is notoriously and mostly known in circles as one of the worst movies of all time.
Yes.
And the book, The Disaster Artist, was written about the production and how much of a quote-unquote disaster that the entire production was, but like starting from conception, during production, and all through post-production, I imagine, right? I'm not entirely sure if it goes into post-production stuff, but it was crazy. It was a shit show. It was a disaster. And the book kind of highlights the craziness of it all while also being really entertaining, too. It wasn't just a collection of facts. It was written in a way that was humorous,
it's
right?
Definitely an engaging read. Yeah, I've read the
I've
book.
never read it, which is why I'm like
fascinating.
Kevin's hanging me out to dry with describing this thing that I have not seen The Room. I've never read the book.
It's also good that it's also good for you to describe this because I've read the book. I have full context for everything that's in that trailer.
Yeah.
So it is kind of nice to get the perspective of someone who's like, I don't fucking know. Have you seen The Room, by the way?
No, I just said I've never seen The Room. I've never
my.
I've never read The Disaster Artist. I've seen certain scenes from The Room.
Yeah, and I think as like a movie geek, it's pretty easy to be familiar with The Room.
Yeah.
Like,
but I've never seen it from beginning to end. I know they hold screenings of it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
become a midnight.
Yeah, it's
movie
like
phenomenon.
it's on, almost to like Rocky Horror Picture Show like level of screenings and stuff like that.
To answer your earlier question, have you seen Child of God.
No.
Then you have... no, I have not seen any of the 32 things that James Franco
Jesus.
directed.
All right. Well, moving on. That's
Anyway,
fine. We'll see.
Who are the cast of characters that are going to be portraying all of these real life people?
Sure. So I'm going to say the actors. You tell me who they're playing. How about that?
Okay, sounds good.
Or let me guess first. Okay, ready?
James Franco.
Johnny Wiseau,
Tommy
Wiseau. Sorry,
Dave Franco.
That's going to be. Oh, hi, Mark.
Dave Franco?
Mark. Yeah, it's Mark, right?
Yeah. Do you know the guy's actual name?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Brandon.
okay.
Tommy. No, Brandon.
Nope.
Damn it. I don't know.
Greg.
Great.
Sestero. Let's see. Seth Rogen.
The cinematographer, I'm guessing.
He is the script supervisor.
God damn it. All right, cool.
Let's see. Josh Hutcherson.
The PA.
No, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be the, like, quote-unquote teenage boy that's in the movie.
Great. How about Allison
Brie.
Bartender. Okay, I'm just shouting things. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to drink my whiskey.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You got one more. Who does Kristen Bell play in this?
Kristen Bell is in this?
Kristen Bell is in this.
I have no idea.
She plays Kristen Bell.
Well, okay then.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well, all right.
This was
Also, Judd Apatow, just like chilling at a restaurant, right? That
Yep.
was him.
J.J. Abrams is apparently in this too.
Okay, great.
Zach Braff is in it as himself. Yeah, it's a pretty stacked cast. So it's going to be hard for us to give a random shout out because you pretty much know goddamn everyone that's in this thing. We'd like to give random shout outs here at Trailer Hitch to lesser known actors because, like, the top billed people, they hog all the credit. It takes lots of people to make a movie. So we are going to look at you, Kelly Oxford, who plays Amy Von Brock, and say, hey, good job.
Good job, Kelly. We're shouting you out, as someone who might not be invited to the Oscars every single year.
Yeah, but you should be.
Yeah, you should be.
You were Amy in The Disaster Artist. Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, like, you pretty much covered what the movie is about.
Yeah.
And from the perspective of someone who's read the book, it looks like it's going to be a fairly faithful adaptation.
Okay.
The best thing about the book, in my opinion, is it isn't just completely throwing Tommy Wiseau under the bus. I think it provides an even keel portrait of him as a person.
Unlike the movie, The Room,
yeah,
it paints Tommy Wiseau as like an actual human being.
Right,
like an actual character, yeah.
And it's alarming because Tommy Wiseau wrote The Room for himself, and yet somehow someone else had to be the person to actually humanize him.
Also, maybe he's a vampire. We'll see.
We'll see. But the book does a very good job of making sure that you have some sort of context. And, like, bear in mind, Tommy Wiseau is incredibly guarded. And
I don't know much about this guy other than this movie.
No one knows anything about him.
He just kind of apparated out of thin air,
basically,
just to make this movie.
No one can place where his accent is from,
right?
Like, and that guy Greg Sestero, who the book is from his perspective, was his really only friend for a number of years. And he knows next to nothing about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he is an incredibly guarded person. And so it took a lot for Greg and the co-writer of the book, I believe is named Tom Bazell, to basically be like, let's try and provide context for what we think is happening here. It doesn't psychoanalyze him, but, like, it just kind of makes it a point to demonstrate this is a human being.
Yeah.
And we might not understand what in God's name he's saying, both in the literal context, because what's that accent, but in a personal set too.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to parse him, and they do a really good job of just taking the information they have and trying to extrapolate from it.
Totally,
It really made me empathize with him and feel bad that I'm among the many that laughed at The Room when they saw it. But then you get his behavior on set, and you're like, fuck this dude. He is a terrible person. Like, he treats his crew terribly.
What, Tommy Wiseau does?
Tommy Wiseau does,
yeah.
Oh,
I didn't get that from this trailer.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, he's definitely incredibly difficult to work with. And so the book does this really great job of balancing this dichotomy of, like, this is a real person, but also he has done and said terrible things.
Oh, see, that's interesting because I don't think the trailer has...
And I think the trailer definitely
cover that at all.
plays up his ineptness far more.
Yeah.
And I think, especially when you're selling it as a comedy, that's important. The book definitely, like, dives into the shades of who Tommy Wiseau is more.
Okay.
So,
I mean, that makes sense. And then, like, the film probably will, too. Like you said, if you're selling this as a comedy, it's probably best to steer in one direction.
Yes.
So I get it. I just found it interesting.
Yeah.
That I didn't see that aspect.
But I think the nice thing is the trailer definitely gives you an impression of Greg. It gives you an impression of Tommy. Like, you get Greg's insecurity, which is part of what leads him to befriending Tommy, was just, he needed someone. You know what I mean? Like, if he is so self-conscious that he finds acting hard when he wants to act, that's clearly someone who is undergoing a lot of emotional distress.
Yeah.
And I think that comes through really well, and I think it does a good job of kind of selling the charm of Tommy Wiseau, where it's like, he is baffling, but at the same time, you can't look away. And I think that definitely comes through in the trailer. And so a lot of my favorite aspects of the book really come through. And in terms of its visual style, I mean, this would be the first James Franco movie I would watch, not out of, like, spite. Like, I don't have it out for James Franco.
I don't know. Like, it sounds like you really hate James Franco. And to be fair,
there are like 38 things he's directed. You would think by now I would have at least happenstance like stumbled onto one.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this was like the first thing of his that I would see if I give this a need to see rating.
Well, we'll see.
But I mean, you know, he's moving his camera around a fair bit. He seems to have like some sort of vision in mind where it's kind of verite, but at the same time it's, you know, it's sort of stylized to like kind of help remind you that it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Especially in like the editing of like, you know, like Tommy talking about his character in the movie, and he goes crazy in the trailer, then cutting to him beating the shit out of a mailbox outside in real life. So I definitely think that there is a wit to its editing style in terms of the trailer, and hopefully that carries through into the movie.
We'll see.
But again, this is all coming from someone who's read the book, who's loved the book. So James, from your opinion, from your situation, as someone who not only has not read the book, but also not seen The Room in full, what do you think?
I thought it was like absolutely fascinating. Like, I knew this was a real person. I knew the, you know, enigma around him of just the mysteriousness. So it is kind of cool to get a little bit of a movie of an origin of it, but in such an entertaining way. I think it looks so funny. I laughed multiple times during the trailer. I thought the jokes really landed. Like you said, I think a lot of that was editing, but I also think a lot of it was just was performance.
I disagree.
Yeah, from like like I said, and let's both talk about this.
And that's interesting. Like James Franco in that first teaser that dropped did not have an accent. Like,
right.
He was just speaking as James Franco. This, oh no, that accent is there in full force.
Yeah, it's really good,
and it's near pitch perfect.
Spot on. Yeah. Like, especially when he's saying lines from the movie that you can literally, because he knows like those lines are going to be up for, you know, for examination. Like, people are going to put him under a microscope and be like, how is his Tommy Wiseau impression?
Yeah.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa, was spot on. It could have been right from the movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't have told you.
For sure.
Like, if you played me an audio bit from that trailer just now, I would have been like, that's Tommy Wiseau from The Room.
Is that a fucking challenge?
No, that's not a challenge.
I feel like in someday that's a great Pepsi and Coke challenge. Is it James Franco or is it Tommy Wiseau?
Sure, yeah, I like that.
If you win, you get $1.
It's James Franco. Damn it, I guess I like James Franco. Anyway, I just thought it was really fun, but also like weirdly heartwarming too. Yeah. Like you said, it's like these people attempting the real like Hollywood go-getter dream.
Yeah.
And
everyone except the guy the director, knowing full well this is not going well.
Yeah.
Like And there's something fascinating about it.
Absolutely fascinating, and I'm very excited to see it. So like, this is a fucking need to see it for me, Kevin.
All right, well that's very good. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess just like I guess if there's anything that's sort of holding me back right now, they're really hiding Dave Franco in the trailer. Like, you get him in the beginning, like, you get a little bit of dialogue from him.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously Tommy Wiseau is such an enigmatic figure that...
Oh, yeah, and James Franco does it so well.
Yeah, that you really want to bolster that up.
Agreed.
I just am hoping that Dave Franco can pull a good Greg Sestero. It sounds like, unless they're going to drop a second trailer where all of a sudden Dave Franco has a spot on Greg Sestero impression, that he's not going for an accent. He is just playing him, like, a version of himself.
Does Greg have an accent? Is he from somewhere?
It's a California accent, but, like, it's not even, like, in the same cadence that guy would speak as. It's literally just Dave Franco is reading the lines. You know what I mean?
And that's fine.
And, like... by not going into it significantly, there is a part of me that's like, are they going to botch the Greg Sestero aspects of the book? Because though, yes, the book is about them making the room and Tommy Wiseau, you know, who Greg Sestero is and what led him to Tommy Wiseau, why he stuck with him, all of that was really important for the book, because without him, straight up, the movie wouldn't have been made. And I really hope that they go into it. The trailer doesn't give me a lot of indication one way or the other. But hey, that's fine, because it's just the first trailer.
Totally.
So it's totally a need to see for
me.
Hey,
cheers. I forgot that I was waiting on bated breath for your review of it. Excellent.
We keep trying to find ways to fake each other out, but you know what? That's mean. We shouldn't fake each other out.
There's
we
only
can just agree.
There's three options.
So we're
cool,
going to see
man.
The Disaster Artist whenever it comes out. I believe in December, but
it's this year, right?
It's this year.
Yeah.
Don't quote me.
I won't.
Thank you.
I won't.
Thank
Disagree.
You. I disagree. All right, very cool. So yeah, we're going to give you our hot and honest thoughts on the Disaster Artist when it comes out, especially in comparison to the trailer. If we walk out of it and it's like, oh wow, they really did not do a lot with Greg Sestero in this movie, we can look back at this and be like, well, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's going to be later. For now, we're going to move on to Some Sort of Isle.
Justice League of Dogs.
No.
Atari Kobayashi, you heroically hijacked a junior turboprop XJ750 and flew it to the island because of your dog. Darn it. I've got a crush on you.
We get the idea. You're looking for your lost dog Spots. Does anybody know him?
No.
I've lost all of my pride. Spots, if he's alive, may very well be living even at this moment as a captive prisoner.
Somebody is up to something.
Will you help him? The little pilot.
Why should I?
Because he's a 12-year-old boy. Dogs love those.
We'll find him. Wherever he is, if he's alive, we'll find your dog.
This is
Anyway.
Isle of Dogs, which is directed by Wes Anderson. Also written by him, with the story credits for Roman Coppola, Jason Schwartzman, and Kunichi Nomura. Sorry if I butchered your name.
It's a creative process.
It's a creative process.
A lot of people in the kitchen here on this one.
All right, so who is in this? The answer is a lot of people. So we got Scarlett Johansson, Liev Schreiber, Tilda Swinton, Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, Bill Murray, Jeff Goldblum, Frances McDormand, Greta Gerwig, Fisher Stevens, Harvey Keitel, F. Murray Abraham, Ken Watanabe, Courtney B. Vance, Bob Balaban, Yoko Ono, which, by the way, when her name popped up in the trailer, you, like, audibly sighed as if somehow she'd be able to break up the movie.
Yeah, she breaks up Wes Anderson. The three people that make up the one entity of Wes Anderson, she will break them up. I don't know what that means, but I went with it.
In your eyes, is Wes Anderson just like three kids in like a suit or something? Like, what's... You know what? We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
So our random shout out.
It's Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison's son are all making up Wes Anderson right now.
Honestly,
Yoko Ono brings them apart.
Wouldn't fucking bat an eye if that was true. Our random shout out. We honestly we have to get to the last little bit of the IMDb.
Let's do it.
page
Yeah.
Before we can get to someone we
random
we
shout
might not
out.
be well
Hit
not
me
know.
with it.
Akira Ito.
Akira Ito.
It doesn't have a character name to him, but you know what? I'm just happy that Akira is in the movie.
That's right. Credited with something that will be determined at a later date.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is going on in Isle of Dogs? So, the trailer starts off with a little preamble that basically lets you as an audience know that there was overpopulation for dogs, and it led to dog flu.
Makes sense. I buy into that.
Time out. This is actually a stop motion film. I feel like it's important to note that. Do you think it's
I
important
like
to note
that you stopped the podcast in order to explain that it was stop motion.
I love dogs. It's great.
Fantastic.
All right. So, so there's been an epidemic of dog flu. So the government has taken all of the dogs and stuck them on an island where they also deposit their trash and leave the dogs to fend for themselves.
Like prisoners in Australia.
Yeah, actually.
It was a penal colony, right?
Yeah, that was a people colony. Yeah. So it's the dog version of Australia. This little trash colony. Yeah, we'll go with it.
Cool.
So it's like these dogs are just kind of trying to make their livelihoods on this little trash island when a Japanese boy piloting a plane crashes onto the island. He has come to look for his dog. No one knows where this dog is. They're going to go look for him. Ta-da. That is the concept of the movie.
Absolutely.
And so for Wes Anderson,
Wes Anderson,
for the fins, for the fish that like Wes Anderson,
the three dolphins that make up Wes Anderson.
The Wes Anderson fans out there, good news. Wes Anderson's style is 100% intact.
Yeah, totally.
For the people who don't like Wes Anderson, bad news. Wes Anderson's style is completely intact.
It was intact with Fantastic Mr. Fox, 100%, right? Yeah.
Oh, God,
and that was incredible. Mm-hmm. Stop motion as well, so...
Yeah, Fantastic Mr. Fox is like the one movie where I've come to find the people who are vehemently anti-Wes Anderson are like, but, Fantastic Mr. Fox that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it. Where do I sit on him? I like him a lot as a director, and I really appreciate... especially when I was in college.
Yeah.
I was that guy. I was the dude that was like, what do you mean you haven't seen Rushmore? Like that sort of bullshit.
I quite remember one of your birthday parties being a hipster birthday party. And
with Rushmore on in the
Wes
background.
Anderson movies on in the background. Yep. I had to wear Argyle. It was very uncomfortable for me.
I did not come up with the theme for that party, okay? It was a surprise party. Anyway.
And we were all surprised with how much fun we had with it.
Yeah. That was a good time.
Hipsters are great. You should be happy with that label, Kevin.
Whatever, we'll talk. Anyway, so Wes Anderson's style is totally intact. His really distinct use of close-up cutaways. They do that with the dog tags on all the dogs when they're going through naming everyone. If you don't like people who are composed directly in center frame, almost looking at camera, mm-hmm. Bad news, that's there in spades.
Yep.
But I think what impressed me most about this was, Wes Anderson is known for being a very colorful director. His color palettes are usually really varied. A lot of pinks with him. And this...
Pastels.
A lot of pastels,
yeah.
Thank you. This really goes for gray a lot of the time. That Trash Island is pretty colorless. And...
that goes with the theme, though.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not motivated. I'm not saying it doesn't work. And I guess it might not be the best point for the movie that it's really cool that he's starting to figure out what gray is. But it's not something that
it's
I'm
so
used to
void
seeing.
of color.
Wow!
2 thumbs up.
Jesus, yeah. Buy me a ticket now. Yeah, but that's just something that I kind of note is sort of different. And he has obviously worked with stop animation before with Fantastic Mr. Fox, which we pointed out earlier in this review, can we call it that so far? Anyway. And I do think that this looks smoother than Fantastic Mr. Fox did in terms of like its animation. I feel like everything moves a bit more fluidly. And I think a lot of it is the characters in Fantastic Mr. Fox's. Hold on to your hats. Turn the podcast off if you don't want a spoiler. They were foxes. So, like, there's a lot of hair and, like, a lot of, like, you know, there were these little bits of detail that I think took more and kind of distracted more.
There wasn't a lot of people in that one, right?
Correct.
Because like this one has dogs, so obviously dogs, foxes, similar
but not
amount
all
of
the people.
Right, there's a lot of people.
It seems like
in this one.
There's a significant like human character population in this. I feel like I'm fumbling. It's fine.
No. It's like the ratio of humans to animals is way more balanced in this one than Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That's
I think
exactly what I wanted to say.
And I think you're right.
Yeah, you did it.
I think the hair, the fur of the animals, they try and move it a little bit more to give it some motion to make it more alive, but it ends up being a little distracting. Mm-hmm. I think, and I think I caught that a few times with the dogs in this trailer as well.
Oh, really?
But not to the extent of Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think you're right. It was worse there, and worse is a bad idea or bad word for it because could have been just a style thing.
It could have been a style thing, but yeah, I mean, like I definitely think that this is working a bit more fluidly for me in terms of its stop motion.
I'd agree with you. Yeah,
and from a story perspective, yeah, that seems like a cute idea, and like it's definitely looking like it's a movie that, in theory, you can take your kid to because, like, when there's a fight, like it goes for the full-on Looney Tunes. It's just a cloud of smoke, and you just see fists coming in and out.
Every live-action movie I've seen of Wes Anderson's, I get the impression that he just wishes he could do a cloud of smoke with fists and swish, visuals coming out of it.
I'm really hoping that at some point a dog or a human character tries to run, but like runs in place for a little bit and sort of revs up and then just zips out of frame.
Or run off of a cliff and come back. Or wait, there was something like that with the hotel one, right? Like something off of a cliff with skis, maybe.
Oh yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah,
that was very Looney Tunes, which I love Looney Tunes though.
Same.
So,
yeah.
I've liked a lot of Wes Anderson films.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, I mean, what did you think of this one? We're critiquing Wes Anderson
as a whole.
Style as a whole a lot. Let's focus more.
Yeah, okay, I might be failing. I'm bringing this into Isle of Dogs.
We're both doing it.
Yeah, let's talk about this itself. Yeah, I think for the most part, this really does work for me. And like the stuff I clunked on is fairly minor. So when the head dog, played by Bryan Cranston, is like
Chief.
Yeah, it's like you're Duke, you're blah, you're blah, you're
Boss,
blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would just say that's not necessary in a trailer. You know what I mean? Like that's a really weird I'm going to name all these people. It's like, this is 2.5 minutes.
Sure.
I'm not going to remember any of this.
I disagree. Can I say why I disagree real quick?
Sure.
I pictured that, or I read that as a joke. Because he later explained, he described all of them as alpha dogs. So all of them had super butch names, if you don't... I think that was the joke. Duke, Butch, Chief, Boss, Rex... Like, they're all super stereotypical, like, big, strong type of dog.
Sure.
Like, manly man dogs, if you will, names. And, like, so when he hit... when he was just naming them, it did feel that way. But then when he said the line, we're all alpha dogs, I kind of was like, oh, that was like a joke then.
I guess so.
Didn't really land with me. But I kind of saw it had more of a point than just naming names.
And see, for me, I like the alpha dogs aspect. I thought it paid off more when you saw just how cavalier and nonchalant they all were. When it's like, okay, we're going to this, terrible area in the aisle where it's all noxious gas, and they're all like, okay, yeah, sure. That to me, that's where the joke kind of lands for me. Is oh, we're all alpha dogs. That's a very interesting point, and that is something that I totally didn't catch.
But like I said, it didn't land either for me.
Totally.
I didn't laugh at that part.
But to be fair, that's like such a minor fucking you know
Totally,
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm not discrediting the trailer because of it. It was just something where I was like, this isn't really landing for me.
Sure.
I'm interested to see how the female human character plays a role in it. She's kind of narrating, and it provides very helpful exposition for who the Japanese boy that comes to the island is, because he only speaks in Japanese, which I think is a great choice and it makes sense. But like, you know, he can't communicate, so she basically gives us as an audience, this is what is going on here. This is who this kid is. This is what he's doing. And then, oh, darn it, I have a crush on you. And like right now, I know that you see her a little bit where it's like, you know, she can tell that something is going on with like, there's more to this than there was dog flu in quotes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now,
like,
was it clear in the trailer that the dogs are actually speaking?
And I mean, who knows if they're just communicating in dog talk? Who knows? Maybe all of our dogs speak in Japanese here, and maybe we all just need to switch dogs.
But see, they couldn't understand him, and he was
Right.
speaking Japanese. So what I'm thinking is, this Japanese boy lands and says, "Ah, damn it, these are all English dogs." I thought I was on the Japanese garbage dog island.
Well, they're leading me somewhere. I'll just kind of maybe they know where he is. Who knows? Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I'm kind of on the fence with, like, what is going on with that character, because...
The female character?
Yeah,
okay.
and, like, bear in mind, the boy doesn't really get characterization either, but, like, I think that, to a degree, that's sort of the point, because they can't communicate with him, and I feel like whatever... they're trying to do with him is just displaying through visuals. It's just a boy and the love for his dog.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a good dynamic. I think it's it's a proven, you know, a true and proven, or whatever the saying is for that type of dynamic. It seemed like it would work for The Good Dinosaur, which I never ended up seeing, of Pixar's.
It was all right.
The Good Dinosaur. But, it was a similar dynamic. The human was non-vocal, and the dinosaur spoke. So it was a lot of that kind of communication. I think that works, you know.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
So I think it looked like it will work in this pretty well.
Yeah.
I personally, after we've established that the boy lands on the island, he's looking for Spots, his dog, and he enlists the help of all these other dogs, I think stuff got very... they threw a lot of stuff at me after that, in terms of visuals, but there was also a lot of dialogue that was happening over the visuals that maybe didn't like super match well. So I was getting kind of confused while the trailer was going on after that.
Yeah, and I think this is... I was watching it now. It's about the third time I've seen it, and... I definitely picked up far more than the first time.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because, yeah, there is definitely an interesting rhythm to its editing.
Sure.
Which, now on repeat viewings, I'm finding pretty rewarding. But, like, definitely on the first time, I was like, I guess this trailer was fine.
Yeah.
And the more I've watched it, it's like, oh, no, I can, like, kind of parse what they're doing here and here. I felt like the search for the Japanese boy's dog comes through significantly more, at least on repeated viewings. Because, like, the first few times, I was more so just trying to figure out,
what is this movie about?
What is this?
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Wes Anderson, I know that much.
But everything's great! But yeah, overall,
That's Yoko Ono sucking the color out of everything.
Oh my... Oh,
Just kidding.
Yeah,
she's probably a lovely woman.
Listen, she's probably a lovely woman, and it was fucking John fucking Bon Jovi. Why am I blanking on the main dude? John Lennon.
Fucking John fucking Lennon of the Beatles. John Bon Jovi.
It's late. I've had whiskey. Listen, yeah, it was John Lennon's choice to be like, I'm done. Like, she didn't fucking put a gun to his head, okay? Hashtag feminism. I side with you, Yoko.
Feminism. Oh no, Yoko Ono's gunning for the Bon Jovi band now. And we're all like, That's fine. Anyway, Yoko Ono jokes aside.
Yoko Ono jokes
I have
aside.
said a lot of them in this episode. We can move on now.
All right. So what you feeling?
I like I said, I think it established what the movie was about very well early on. The second half of the trailer felt a little too chaotic for me. I was kind of like, I don't feel like the trailer knew what it wanted to do after that so much, so it just kind of like threw a lot of like highlighty stuff in there.
Sure.
Which normally works in live action stuff, but maybe it was just the fact that it was stop motion that it was throwing me off to make it like a montagey part of the trailer, which normally works, like I said.
And again, like, they definitely, this time around, I caught that, like, we're beginning with those people playing the drums. I
totally, that's right.
At the end, you get a shot of them, and it's supposed to be effectively the song ramping up. Which, by the way, I just like to.
The music was
great.
That was very good. Yeah, I did like the music. But I'm mostly talking about the visuals, though. It was like these random people like drumming on shit, and then there was like these action scenes happening, but also like cutting back to like the Japanese dictator at the time, I think, or the president. I'm not sure. Mayor of Dog Trash Island or whatever. Yeah. They don't establish his character at all. It's just, he says all dogs are bad, so they go to the trash island. So all the visuals of him later in the trailer felt very chaotic and out of place too. I just thought the second half of the trailer was very all over the place. So, but I did laugh. I did laugh at the jokes. I thought most of the jokes landed. I love the style of it because I've loved most Wes Anderson films that I've seen. And I think it's charming. I think the stop motion thing is very charming. And I think the last one that came out was Kubo and the Two Strings. Yeah. And I really wanted to see that movie. I never got around to it, but I think they look incredible. Yeah. And I have a lot of fun with that kind of stuff. So between those two things, it's a need to see more for me on this one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at a need to see from it, but I totally get where you're coming from with your point about because as a trailer, it definitely gets a little bit clunky in its build toward the end, but I think there's enough positive stuff in there to outweigh it for me.
Sure. And usually when a trailer stumbles a little bit on that build, they can save it with a really great button at the end. And I thought the button was okay in this. Not great though. Sure. So yeah, I kind of ended on a note where the beginning of that trailer was better than the end. So there you go. Anyway, need to see more for me.
All right, need to see for me.
Lovely. Play the disagree music. I disagree. Okay, that was it.
Yeah, it would just be some John Bon Jovi. All right, so that is us for Trailer Hitch. If you have thoughts on Isle of Dogs, if you have thoughts on The Disaster Artist, if you think we're being too hard on Pacific Rim 2, there's got to be someone out there. Just feel free to hit us up at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com.
It's a thing, guys.
Or on Twitter at trailerhitchpod, or on Facebook, or on WordPress.
Yep.
Carrier pigeon, you can just throw that out there. I'll leave some crumbs just in case. Try and lure them.
And if you guys haven't checked out our reaction episode to Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer yet, check that out.
Yep.
That's still up just in case you missed it. I'm just saying, it's pretty good. It's pretty exciting. I kind of like it.
All right. So thank you guys very much. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Be good.
Be good. That's a good note to end on.
Long.
Farewell. Oh, we've done this before.
You can't mend holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Okay, so if you think me forgetting who John Lennon is embarrassing, I actually have an even more embarrassing story involving the Beatles that James was also a part of.
Good God.
This has nothing to do with trailers. This isn't going to be a short button. So if you don't care about this sort of stuff, tune away now.
Yeah.
So James, where were we this past weekend?
We were at Cal Jam.
Yeah.
Cal Jam 2017.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters put it on, baby. Bringing it back.
Yes, so...
Rock and Roll Festival.
Unrelated, Queens of the Stone Age fucking rules live. You should see them. But we were watching the Foo Fighters. And now the Foo Fighters were playing their new album in full at this concert. And our mutual friend, Joe, who doesn't listen to the podcast, but that's fine... he totally does. He's probably so fucking mad right now. He was insisting to us, guys, there's a chance that they might bring Paul McCartney. Like, they're bringing guests out.
Paul McCartney drummed a song on the album.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so there was reason to believe.
And, like, we had heard that there were guests. Holy shit, there's a chance that Paul McCartney might be here. And, like... Yeah, I would die if I got to see a Beatle live, even if I can't remember their name off the top of my head at, 10:30 at night.
That's okay, that one's dead.
Yeah.
Oh. Too soon.
Yeah, I guess.
Moving on.
So, we were watching the show, and at one point, Dave Grohl is like, hey, I'm going to bring out this person who played at the original Cal Jam in 1970. And we were like, Beatles were still around in 1970, and out comes Joe Perry from Aerosmith. Now, I don't know how you reacted to it, but I'm like, Aerosmith is fine.
It's fine.
Joe Perry's fine.
It's not a Beatle. Even finer than if it was like Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. So Joe Perry comes out. Foo Fighters and Joe Perry play an Aerosmith song.
Pretty great.
Do you know what Aerosmith
nope,
song was?
Don't care.
No,
Moving on.
To me. Didn't care. And then after the song finishes, a low and familiar bass line starts. It's the bass line of Come Together.
That's right.
Dave Grohl says, I have another guest that's coming out. And we all fucking hold our breath. And out comes this short and thin British man with closely cropped hair, a goatee, big-ass sunglasses, and a hoodie up over.
Up over his hair, yeah.
Now, James and I look at each other and we're like, holy shit, it's Ringo
It's
Starr.
Ringo Starr. Like, we were all expecting Paul McCartney, but you know what fucking Paul McCartney looks like, even if he was wearing, like, sunglasses, hoodie, a fucking handlebar mustache, you'd still know it was Paul McCartney. So we were like, okay, it's not Paul McCartney. But they're playing Come Together.
And out comes Ringo fucking
Beard, just like, it's Ringo, man.
And so we geek the fuck out. Like, we are just, like, on Cloud 9 right now, and we're watching this performance.
Kevin whips out his phone.
I starts recording it.
This is going to be, I'm going to tell my grandkids about this.
Oh, dude, I was expecting my mom to punch me in the face. She'd be so jealous. So anyway, as the performance is going on, all of a sudden seeds of doubt start to get planted. Now, we had noticed when Joe Perry came out, like, so many people in the audience had their phones out and they were recording it. There were like 2 or 3 people recording this, aside from me. And I'm like, wow, like, they're really respecting this Beatle. I'm fucking not. It's okay. I'm in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
But, you clock that. And then, I think at one point, it's
what was your next sign that you start to doubt?
He pulled up a lyric sheet.
Yep, that was it for me.
I
was like,
so
does Ringo Starr really not know the words to Come Together?
But see, what saved it for me is then he pulled an audience member onto stage, and he had that person finish Come Together. And it was kind of funny, too, because it was like, he hands off the lyric sheet, she looks at it and just sort of fucking tosses it over her shoulder, because it's goddamn Come Together.
Like, I don't fucking know Come Together, are you kidding me?
Right.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's like this woman is singing the song, and here was the third and probably biggest seed of doubt. Ringo Starr stage dived.
And this is where Kevin stopped recording.
And this is when me, James, and like the people we were with all stopped, looked at each other, and went, how old is Ringo Starr? Because if he's a day over 70...
Let's do a quick fact check on this. How old is Ringo? That's a little old.
That seems like it's pretty risky to stage dive.
Probably not the oldest person to stage dive, but maybe.
Maybe, yeah. And at that moment, once it all starts to click and the song is ending, Dave Grohl comes up to the mic and says, Liam Gallagher, everyone. And Liam Gallagher, who we all thought was Ringo fucking Starr, leaves the stage. And everybody, it's the most disappointed I've ever been.
The audience just deflated. a little bit. And we were all like, Liam Gallagher, okay, great.
Can you imagine?
Fantastic.
Can you imagine thinking you're seeing a Beatle live? I've accepted the fact I'm probably never going to see a Beatle live in my entire life.
This was the opportunity.
This was probably it.
And we missed it. It's done now.
And it's done because of Liam fucking Gallagher.
It's Liam Gallagher's fault.
And listen,
I will never, ever forgive you.
No bones to Oasis. Oasis is fine. But when you're expecting a Beatle, I'm just saying it's really distressing. So I guess that's why
Kevin, you posted that video, right?
I deleted it immediately. The second he said Liam Gallagher, I was like, I don't need this on my phone. Absolutely not. Fuck this.
I don't need Liam Gallagher singing a Beatles song and not knowing the words.
So I guess maybe subconsciously I'm trying to avoid talking about this because I'm apparently now trying to forget all things Oasis and Beatles related. But yeah, just in case you ever need a marker for, hey, what are Kevin and James like when they're on a lot of alcohol? We just think that we see living rock legends.
There's worse things to think you're seeing when you're drinking a lot of alcohol. When you're on alcohol.
Yeah. All right. You have anything else?
I got nothing else. Let's wrap this shit up.
We're probably.
We don't need to wrap it up. This was a full Runaway trailer segment.
We could have done an episode just on how fucking mad I am.
Liam Gallagher. Anyway, this was a sort of post-credit scene Runaway trailer. There you go.